Hey, what is up everyone? Hope you're all having a wonderful time. Here a quick guide for the Thunder Javelin Paladin in last Epoch. The Thunder Javelin Paladin is an interesting build that uses the unique spear Tyrann's Bident for a hybrid playstyle. Shout out to AmarathyGaming for the inspiration of the build. Link to his version of it will be in the description. Usually it's not really worth splitting up different damage types, but for this build it works pretty well actually. We combine damage over time, throw damage and also spell damage to make this build work. The spear makes it so all damage will convert to lightning. We also get all bleed and ignite chance will convert to Electrify, which is a lightning damage over time element. And we also get stacks of Tyrann's Thunder that will add up to 12 flat spell damage for 4 seconds each time we use the Javelin skill. There's a lot going on with this spear, and why only choose one path when you can go with all of them? So clearly the build scales of light damage, and how it works is that we throw Javelin that will add ton of Electrify stacks and also make us proc Smite from our idols. Each time we cast Javelin we will hit a target 5 times, making us have a pretty high chance of proccing Smite. We're using Lunge for mobility, and the skill synergize really beautiful to this build, as we also will trigger both the Javelin and the Smite skill once we launch to a enemy. To scale damage for this build, we want to get throw attack speed, as this will apply more dots, deal more hits and also proc Smite more frequently. It's very easy to scale throw attack speed for the build, but sustaining the mana is more of a problem. You have to test around with this how it feels for you, but adding too much attack speed and not being able to utilize it is a common problem for this build. As an example, in this current setup I'm using a T5 and 6 mana cost reduction on my rings and only one attack speed modifier on one of them. If I manage to get double T7 for instance, it might be possible to add that extra attack speed on the other ring. Adding some mana regen is not bad either, however I would suggest adding a big roll like a T7 on one of your items, ideal on your belt, so we don't use up too many prefix slots. Volatile Reversal is a really good addition for this build as well, making it so enemies take increased damage, but we can also use it to get some of our mana back. As we are the Paladin class, we get also access to the Holy Aura to boost even further. We get increased damage, attack speed and also resist to help out with survivability. The build can feel a bit squishy at the beginning, but being a ranged build makes it so we can stand at a safe distance while playing this build. We also get tons of leech from the Bleeding Heart Amulet, as it gives us health leech from all sorts of damage that we deal with this build. Some pros: it's quite fast build, great for monoliths, easy to scale the damage, huge health leech for survivability. For some cons, it can be a struggle to get your mana sustained, the idols are quite rare, and it can take a while to get into the build, as you have to target the skill in front of moving enemies, as the Javelin has a short delay of half a second while we are spec'd in Siege Barrage. For the uniques, let's start with the build enabling piece, Tyrann's Bident, and the spear makes all Javelin damage convert to lightning, with some added lightning throw damage as well. We get 100% of bleed and ignite chance converted to Electrify chance for Javelin, and up to 160% lightning penetration with Electrify, and some normal light pen here as well, up to 22%. And also when we use Javelin we gain a stack of Tyrann's Thunder for 4 seconds, and each of these stacks will grant us 8 to 12 spell lightning damage. We're using Bleeding Heart, with a unique modifier up to 9% of damage leech as health, and this is applied to all damage we deal including dots, making it a huge help for the survivability of the build. The base also provides increased throwing attack speed, which is perfect for us. We're using Titan Heart for that 15% less damage taken while wielding a two-handed melee weapon. And also here we get some increased health as well. The chest makes us unable to regen our health, but combined with the Bleeding Heart Amulet will make it so we leech health instead. Thorn Slinger is a pretty common belt with a pretty low effective level for legendary potential. This makes it so we can have a pretty high chance of getting 1 or even more LP on it. From the belt we get chance to bleed on hit, which transforms to Electrify. We also get some increased move speed and also throw attack speed. If you don't have the belt with LP on it, a normal rare belt works just as great. Stormtide is another great choice of the build, as we get chance to shock on lightning hit. Even with a bad roll we still manage to get up to max stacks with one Javelin attack. Each stack of shock reduces lightning resist by 5% and increase chance to stun by 10% for 4 seconds. These have less effect against bosses and will stack up to 10 times. Alternative, you can try to get chance to shock on your amulet as a LP, and this makes it so the boost no longer is required and you can get a normal standard pair with some extra health on them. For the stats, try to go for health, resist, critical strike avoidance for the cap, increased throw attack speed, reduced throwing mana cost, increased lightning damage, chance to ignite or bleed on hit. Ignite is preferred as it will also get changed to Electrify for the Smite skill. Bleed will only apply for the Javelins. We're using some increased cooldown recovery here, mostly so we can use Lunge more frequently, and Volatile Reversal to regain some of our mana, and some source of mana regeneration. For the class specific stat, try to go for +2 level of Javelin, and also lightning throw damage with Javelin. For the idols, we want to get 4 Adorn idols with the chance to cast Smite on hit with throwing attacks, and if possible also with health as a suffix. Quick note here that these are quite rare to obtain, and I would recommend getting at least 2 of them before starting out with this build. Some of the more notable blessings is going to be from the Black Sun. Here we can go for the chance to ignite on hit, Ending the Storm for chance to shred lightning resist on hit, Reign of Dragon you can get up to 20% to all resist, or you can go for critical strike avoidance for the easy cap. Age of Winter for some increased armor or physical resistance, Spirit of Fire for the flat armor. So let's go over quickly the most important notes for the skills, starting with Javelin. So Javelin is going to be the main damage ability skill here, dealing damage from the hit itself, applying dots and also triggering the Smite skill. Siege Barrage makes it so Javelin now comes from the air, causing additional Javelins to rain down at the target, and this is what's making it so we get so many hits and proc. However, the mana cost will increase with quite a bit. Spike Bombardment will add 2 additional Javelins here, with some increase to mana cost. Excellent balance, so our Javelins cost less mana. Burning Strength for the Ignite chance, which will transfer to Electrify. Go for the Legs for the Bleed chance, which will also transfer to Electrify. And we also get some slow chance here as well. Spear to the Tight to increase our damage over time. We're using the skill Smite, which is going to be procced when we use the Javelin skill. Order of Lagon make it so the base skill transform into Lightning, and also Ignite will transform into Electrify. Charge Hand makes so Electrify applied by Smite has an increased duration and also additional lightning penetration. Unbalanced Scale makes so Smite now also casts a Lightning Bolt at 3 nearby enemies. We're using Sacrifice for the damage multiplier for the initial hit, at the cost of sacrificing a portion of our health, and Atonement makes it so we don't have to worry about the health cost anymore. We're using Launch as our mobility skill, and this will also proc both the Javelin and the Smite skill. Holy Incursion makes so we cast Smite when we launch, and this will hit up to 3 nearby targets. Pilum Assault makes it so when we launch we also now use the Javelin skill. Double Strike for 1 extra charge for launch, and Unstoppable makes so we are invulnerable to damage while we are launching. As the Paladin we get access to the Holy Aura, which will provide some increase to damage, attack speed and also resist. Expedite for the throw and attack speed and also small chance of getting haste. Fanatic for the global attack speed. Shelter from the Storm for increased elemental resistance and some endurance. We're using Purification here for some extra poison resist and also so we cleanse elements when we use the Holy Aura. And Raise Devotion for some extra ignite chance. Volatile Reversal is going to be used to increase the damage taken for enemies and also to recover some of our mana back. We're using Incipient Void Drift and also Terminal Void Drift, and this will make it so we apply a Void Drift where we arrive when we're using Void Drift. An enemy has to be hit by one of these to be able to take increased damage. Time Loss Vitality, so we get the cooldown recovery here 60%, this makes it so we no longer restore health. Travel's Fatigue for some extra cooldown recovery here 50%. Harbinger of Dust makes it so enemies take 30% increased damage. Time Rift makes so enemies take 60% increased damage over time. And Warp Time for some global attack speed. And here a quick preview of the passive skill tree, but for more information about the build I do recommend you go and check out Last Epoch Build Planner. Both for the passives and the skills you can simply use the progression bar at the bottom to easily see when and where to progress in the build. To the left of the build planner you can also get a basic loot filter of the build that will highlight all you need to get for both leveling and for the endgame. Link for this will be in the description. So what do you think about the Thunder Javelin Paladin? Have you tried it out before or tried another version of it? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. If you want to support the channel even further, you can check out the Patreon for some extra benefits like behind the scene footage, virtual hangouts and more. If you got any other questions, feel free to drop a comment and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!